nothing to lose because you don't. And when you realize that, that's when you make the decision that you're going to play your best. Because if you don't have it tomorrow. You don't get another 48 minutes. That's what we're here for. The pride, the tradition, the family. Yeah, about the guys in this room. Nothing else. 48 minutes for everybody who's here. Do you understand me?
Yes, Coach.
Do you understand me?
Yes, Coach.
Welcome back to Titles to Titles. I'm your host, DDP, a.k.a. Nino Brown, and I'm with my co-host, Boomer, a.k.a. Jared Gray. You're watching the 50th episode of P2P. Wow, 50, huh? That went by fast, bro. How we doing tonight?
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, to think 50 episodes and, you know, where we started, and we're at a point where we're just like, hey, you know what? I think like you and me click. Well, let's get on a college show together. You know, let's just start talking. You know, and I mean, we've covered everything from the bottom to the top. You know,
Yeah.
FCS, XFL. I mean, you name it. At this point, it's just really, really cool to think we're hanging half 100 on you already.
Yeah,
and it's
right?
year one. So
Crazy.
it's crazy.
It's been fun. It's been fun. It only gets. I enjoy each episode more and more. We get to dive in a little bit more, and you just literally awoken a beast. You know what I mean? Coming into this, I was.
I definitely can tell that. I mean, you went from one aspect of life, like, oh, you know, fantasy football is so cool, and like, nah, bro, I can't. It's college football only. Like, this is where you at.
Get
like,
all that. Yeah.
BFB Nation love right here. That's where we stand and stay. So
100%. All right. You know, what we do all the time is we start off the show. If you're a new viewer of the show, which we appreciate, we drop off this weekly headlines. And this first topic I want to touch on, I saw it, you know, when I originally seen it was Coach Harbaugh was, you know, helping out a police officer, right, when a tree branch had fell down. And I was like, oh, you know, good Samaritan role. I like that. It's a good guy. And then I clicked on the next article I'm reading. I'm like, oh, Jim Harbaugh says that Blake Corum could miss a couple spring games coming into it.
I'm okay with that. I honestly wouldn't even play him anyway.
Do you think he's going to be 100% for week one?
Yeah, because he's got all season. I think he's okay.
Okay.
I mean, he's your bell cow. He's your dude. He's the best player on the team right now. You can't risk him in a spring game, like, you know, because kids are trying to impress, you know, on the other side of the ball. And if I can get a good hit on the dude, then I'm gonna do it. So instead of that happening, you just lay off. Let him get through the summer. Get him nice and healthy. And all the naysayers that say he ain't gonna do what he did last year, you know, are gonna talk, and then he gonna come out and run for 200 yards, and then we're like, man, I was wrong again.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that, like, I mean, I ate crow last year. I thought it was going to be Donovan Edwards' season. You told me, you put me in check weeks before week 0 and said it was Corum squad and he was the dude, and you were right. I just like what Edwards has to offer, the way he plays. It's just a different style.
Yeah, I'm planting my flag on that one. So
yeah, you were right, 100%. Kudos to you. I admit when I'm wrong. You know that. Do you think that Edwards gets a little bit of a heavier load? First,
yeah, I mean, there are two different running backs for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like he gets a heavier load early?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because you have to groom him for the future anyway. You have to give him the chance to be the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he'll get a heavier load, 100%.
All right. This next topic, this one kind of came out of left field for me because I've been kind of pumping him up a little bit, you know, towards the end of last season with everything that went down with Butte and whatever. Was LSU wide receiver Malik Neighbors was arrested for carrying a illegal weapon. Luckily for him, all weapons charges has been dropped. He won't file against him. But this is just a bad look for him in general. What are your thoughts?
I like Malik Neighbors, right? And when you say charges been dropped, great. I mean, nothing I can really say to you, right? But wrong place, wrong time, could be an issue.
Right.
Right. But let's be real. Like, I mean, obviously, if you ever get the chance to go down to Bourbon Street, bruh, I mean, kids be partying hard, be in the wrong situation, think they gotta be hard still, you know what I mean? You're a college kid, like you got too many people, looking at you. I mean, this isn't 20 years ago and we didn't have social media. Like everybody is watching you,
out the house.
Especially when you're the guy now. You're the guy.
And
so
the other guy that just left just is going out with bad juju. Don't bring bad juju to you being the new guy, like the new name.
Oh, man. If there was ever a time for LSU to lay low, it's right now. Like, and and Auburn's over here like, let me have it, bro. It was like, hey, somebody else is in the news besides us right now.
Like, thanks, boys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, just not looking great right now. So
no. And then this one I love. KT's probably salivating when he watches this. He's gonna be like, my man just keeps drilling this poor gentleman. And it's not that I'm drilling him. And I know he's the consensus number one, right? And he has all the talent in the world. But I just don't understand. It's something that's just when you're the consensus one, everybody loves you, right? Nobody says anything bad about you. But you can't find a team. My brain goes tilt. Something's got to be wrong.
Well, here's my thing, right? And I'm glad we're bringing this up. Right, Ohio State was there, right? Ohio State already has an issue right now, right?
Right.
But they already have an issue. They have 2 5-star quarterbacks on roster right now. Like one guy is going to be the guy, and the next guy is going to say, you know what, I'm done, coach. Like he's going to lose one of them. You can't bring in 3 5-stars, right? I mean, you remember a long time ago when Florida had Chris Leak, Cameron Newton, and Tim Tebow all on the same team, and they were like, we're going to lose one of these guys, and I'm losing Cam, to some issues, right?
The laptop,
laptop. You cannot bring, you can't bring 5-star after 5-star after 5-star and expect players to stay. The good thing about Texas right now is they're going to have some gap and they can bring in Arch and let him relax. Oklahoma is in this issue. Obviously, we've talked about Arnold extensively.
Yeah,
but he gonna push a boy all he has.
Yeah.
And the one place that is got a lot of news about them, they've got a really good coaching staff right now, and no quarterback is Nebraska. And
I put it in the doc.
But another question to you, here's my other question. Why isn't this team in this conversation, Dylan? Like Auburn needs a dude. You could be in the SEC. You could be a guy.
I got something for you.
You know what I'm saying? This could be something.
Yes.
But Nebraska, I'm telling you, is
I think that's
they're putting something special together.
He's got a visit in March, early March, scheduled, right? There's no hiding it. It's out there. Once he canceled the Georgia visit, which is what made me put this on the doc, which is huge, but he sees it. There's 3 of them. They got 3 QBs over there that are fighting for a role. Nah, bro, I ain't going there. You know what I mean? So I'm good, right? So he canceled that, nixed that one real quick. And then you go and check the odds. Nebraska's the favorite. Crystal ball, everything's saying Nebraska. I think it's a good fit. Sims is only there for 1 year. If Thompson were to stay, he's got 1 year. So, then those guys are done. And now you got an open playing field. Malachi Coleman's there, bro. You got young dudes. So, hey, you know me. I got the Nebraska show, so I'm locked in now when it comes to the talent in there. I think that'd be a prime spot. I have concerns because normally these number 1 dudes, it's just a straight beeline. Like, you know where you're going. There's no swaying around. We were just talking 3 weeks ago that he might have had a visit to USC with Lincoln Riley. So it's like I'm hearing his name everywhere, but I'm never hearing him connected or locked in, permanently. So it's a little concerning to me. That's all. The topic that you spoke about with these quarterbacks, these 4 and 5 stars that are battling out, I got a question that's going to pertain more to these gentlemen with those guys later on in the show. But since we talked about it, we might as well start it off, right? Let's get into this Auburn shit. Let's go. You ready?
Yeah, it's a tough spot, really tough spot. So,
all right. So we're going to go for the next 20, 25 minutes. We're going to talk about Auburn, everything that, they've done in this off season, the transfer portal.
Let's go. Let's go.
Coaching hire.
Always ready. Stay ready.
all of that. We're going to just dive right in.
You want me to kick it off?
Start it off. You good? Are we having some difficulty? We might have a little low.
Yeah, you're freezing a little bit on me. So slight technical difficulties on your end a little bit, I think. So we'll get there. So we'll be okay. All right, let's get right to Hugh Freeze. Obviously getting hired by Auburn. Cadillac Williams was an absolute dude the last part of the season. Really made some really good changes. I think that he brought a different mindset to Auburn. They just looked a lot better to start with. And it's good to see that they're trying to change. But my biggest question to you is, how are you feeling about the Hugh Freeze hire? As an outsider looking in, not an Auburn guy, what are you thinking?
So, off the rip, whenever a coach gets extended to a school, right? And then, it kind of says that you're buying into your program, that you're giving your players a guarantee that you're not going anywhere, right? And then he turned around and within 2 or 3 months after that extension, said, I'm out, I'm going to Auburn. So that kind of sets me off on a sour note to begin with, okay? I wasn't fully aware of all of the baggage that Freeze was bringing, okay? I knew about, the recruiting issue and all that. I didn't know about the Chelsea Andrews Twitter deal there. I was not aware.
You just straight brought off the name. You're like, nah, bro, we ain't even bringing it. We're like bringing Chelsea right into this. Like, this is some handler stuff. Like, we ain't even going to say about, hey, the Twitter handler of this girl. You're like, nah, bro. Miss Andrews, thank you for coming to the show.
I blew up spots and everything, but, I wasn't aware of it, and then I dove more into it, and it's like, bro, you got your hand slapped. And you backdoor, like, social media messaging people that are calling you out about something. Like, you're a head coach, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't be doing that stuff. So those things and the way you left set me off a different way. But I do like what Freeze brings to Auburn, the coaching aspect of it, like the style of play. Like, we talked about their offense is anemic, right? He's going to bring life to the program. They score points. That's what Hugh Freeze does. Look at Liberty for the last, 4 or 5 years.
Terrible.
Right? They put points up at Liberty. I think they're going to put points up at Auburn this year. I would hope so. I have questions about the offensive side of the ball, but I think that they will put up points somehow, some way.
I lost you for a little bit.
So
sorry. For me, here's my issue, right? This is my biggest issue. My man left Ole Miss, right? after being there for a little bit, wasn't fired. He resigned due to pattern misconduct, did his thing, looked good at a bad program, and then had a terrible bowl game, by the way. It's like, I mean, I got Lincoln Riley vibes like that. I was like, listen, you knew he did not care about this bowl game. Just like Lincoln Riley didn't care about the Oklahoma State game. That dude left the night of, and that's kind of how I felt about the Hugh Freeze situation. Like, listen, man, if I can go back to the SEC, feel like I can clean up my act and be a different person than I left, then I'm going to go. But, I mean, my question is do we really think he can change the offense from – I mean, it can go nowhere but up. We agree with that. Can it be a top, top half of the league offensively? And I'm saying the NCAA, I'm talking about the SEC, which I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, Cadillac Williams, so much energy. You and me both. We couldn't wait to watch a game. Like, he's running down the sideline. He's still in great shape. Players are receptive to him. The smartest thing Hugh Freeze was to keep him on. And I'd give him a bigger role personally. But I mean, Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown, were Auburn's, new age thunder and lightning. It's obviously it's not Bo Jackson and stuff like that, but he's the new age guy. You know what I mean? So we loved what he was doing. I'm glad they kept him. I'm just a little worried on what Hugh Freeze is going to bring to the table again to the SEC.
Yeah, all right. So I agree with you there. My other part is, will he keep the culture that Cadillac developed the last 4 to 6 games at Auburn, right? The whole mantra changed. Like, the demeanor, the way these kids approached the game, they were running the ball. They had 100-yard rush prior to the firing, right? And then as soon as Cadillac came in, 3 out of 4 games, they had a 100-yard running back. So it's like, are we going to keep that style of play? Are we going to keep that culture, like I said, that Cadillac instilled early?
I mean, here's my thing. I don't know which Auburn team I'm going to get to show up, right? The one that'll score 56 in a game, or the team that beat Mercer 24-10, in 2016. You know what I mean? I need my guy to show up and show out, because I can't be seeing some Mercer scores, bro.
No.
Like,
well, let's just talk offense then. Well, since we're talking offense, I got some questions. They're at the bottom of the screen. There's some dudes, right? Is Robbie Ashford the answer at quarterback? Like, I was talking to you in the green room how I watched some high school tape, and he was a Duck before he was a Tiger. And he has, a powerful arm. He has the ability to play off any platform, and he can throw on multiple angles, right? He's an effective runner. He's got good instincts, and he's got like long speed. Like, he can take it for 30, 40 yards and maintain speed. Bro, he threw for 1,600 yards last year. Like, how does that happen? 49% and 7 touchdowns. You average 5.8 yards per attempt. I don't mean this in disrespect to Robbie. It was obviously a coaching problem, right? But I think me and you could go in and average 5.8 yards per attempt. I ain't got much football skill in me, you know what I mean, compared to these gentlemen. So they got to put the guy at least in a position to win. But is he the guy? We talked about all these 5, 4, and 3 stars battling it out. I have a feeling, after I let you have your piece and speak on this, that there's a couple of guys that could be making a trip to Auburn soon. So what are your thoughts on Robbie?
Well, so it's funny, we were talking about in the green room how we really thought that you kind of see Bo Nix and Ashford kind of like flip positions.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And we kind of thought they're both kind of very similar, but obviously Nix looks like a completely different quarterback at Oregon right now. So my thing is do they take a play from that? Hugh Freeze is seeing this and said, man, Bo Nix looks really good, in this offense. This is the type of guy I want to use. Do I need to use Ashford like this? And I hope they do, because he has good, speed. He doesn't need to throw the deep ball unless he has to throw the deep ball.
Right.
And that Ashford has the ability, but the 49% is abysmal.
Yeah,
it's terrible, dude.
I mean, he had what did he have? He had a couple of yards rushing. I believe he had 700 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns on 153 attempts. So he's a dual threat guy, right? And the other gentleman at the quarterback position, and the reason why I don't think he would overtake Robbie, Hugh Freeze likes a mobile quarterback, right? You've seen him with Willis, right? That's what he likes. It's a guy that he does well with. It's a guy that can get out of the pocket and make plays. TJ Finley is literally your pro-style pocket passer. He has zero mobility to him. He's just a big body in the pocket. He can throw the ball well. He's got a big arm, big frame. Like, he's your prototypical. So that's not really what they're trying to do. Obviously, everybody sees the games kind of switch to that semi-dual threat guy or having somewhat mobility. So I don't see Finley overtaking him. My question to you, and this is the vibe I get before we break down this running back group. Why am I getting a feeling that Devin Brown or Jackson Dart is going to be in an Auburn uniform very soon?
Well, here's my issue about Jackson Dart. It's terrible.
I love it.
I mean, it's just. Listen, man. I think you'd be a good football player in Division III. Like
XFL.
Like you're not a guy. Like, I mean, you thought you were a guy. You're, you see that thing's like you're not that guy. You're not that guy.
Not.
Like, he's not that guy. I mean,
he's not him.
He ain't that guy. And but Devin Brown is without a doubt intriguing. And
I'm buying in on Kyle. Kyle's got my vote. I'm gonna, I got ties to Kyle. You know that. So I'm all in on Kyle and he has been grinding. So I think Kyle's gonna win the job. That's why I put Devin in the pocket. Because if Devin doesn't win the job, I don't think Devin's gonna want to stay there.
I agree. Here's my question. Can Ashford be a 300-yard per game quarterback? And I'm not talking just,
Yeah,
I expect 300 plus running and passing every single in the SEC.
The talent level is there. He was doing pretty much that coming out of high school, if not more than that, right?
Really, we really need 410. All right, let's get 410 because I need 250 at least. You know what I mean? Out of your quarterback, and we'll say 150 rushing every single game to compete in the SEC.
Close. I don't know if he can get you 400 plus every game. I think he'd be close. I think he can get you somewhere between the 340 to the 400 combined range. I think he can do that, but I think he needs pieces, right? Like, they brought in a wide receiver. Finally, they got a guy over there for him. Nick Smarter, right? He was at Hawaii. He had 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. But he's a big play guy. Averaged almost 20 yards per catch, right? And then he went to Cincinnati. But the problem is you went to Cincinnati where these dudes that were in front of you were established, right? Coming in behind Pierce. Tyler Scott was ready to take the rollover, right? Trey Tucker was ready to take the rollover when these guys went to the NFL. So I don't think Mortar had a chance to dive in and go. But he's got a little sauce to him. He got a little twitch, right? He can high point the ball with the best of them. He's a big guy, 6'6", 190. That's a big boy. You got a 6'6" receiver out there. It's pretty much just put it out there and let him go get it. So I think now with a dude, you might have a little better shot. I'm just worried that they're not going to use him the right way, and this is why I'm getting a vibe that someone else is coming down the pipeline.
Well, I mean, Philip Montgomery's offensive coordinator.
Mhm.
Hugh Freeze obviously going to, is the person.
Is he gonna
You
is he
know,
gonna do this? Is he gonna keep his hands out the pot though?
I mean, he doesn't really have to keep his hands out of the pot. I mean, he averaged when he was at Ole Miss, and obviously New Mexico, whatever. What he was averaging at Ole Miss, he averaged 460 yards per game in the SEC. In 2016 when he was at Ole Miss.
Right.
So Philip Montgomery, really good offensive coordinator. He's going to be groomed by Hugh Freeze no matter what. So he ain't really got to have his hands out of the pot. What he really needs to have his hands out of the pot on is the defense, because that I mean, when you're giving up as many yards defensively as you are making offensively, you're not going to win games. You need to be a dude. All right.
They let up like 30 points a game. They were like ranked 89th out of 131. Like, you're an SEC team, bro, and you're in the bottom half of all college football. That's terrible.
Especially when you're playing 3, non-conference games of layup games at Chattanooga. And,
yeah, exactly.
Tennessee Martin. So that's the only thing I'm really like. That's got to happen.
You can tell that he knew that he had to keep his hands out the pot, though, because he brought in Roberts, right? Ron Roberts, and he brought in Eldridge. And if you look at them, Eldridge literally molded his style of play to copycat Roberts. They have the same exact defense. So now you're bringing in a dude like, bro, Roberts' coaching tree is nice.
It's sweet.
It's a defensive guru lineup, bro. You got Baylor head coach Dave Arenado, right? Ole Miss defensive coordinator Pete Goulden, and then Florida DC Patrick Toney, who just took the job with the Cardinals. He literally just left Florida to go to Arizona. So these are dudes. He grooms dudes. Not like Belichick, who grooms poo. That's my guy. In case you don't know, Patriots behind me. Belichick's coaching tree's trash, but that's neither here nor there. I put it out there. But Roberts has got a tree. I think with him and Aldridge together, implementing the same game plan, but I think they could take that 28.9 points per game, bring that down to like 22, 21 real quick.
Yeah, obviously he came over from Liberty. Aldridge is a really good, has a good mind. Just really hope they don't just sit back and try to play cover 2 like Auburn's been doing. I need some smash mouth.
Right.
Like let's pin the ears back. Let's old style SEC. Let's get after it. When Auburn, went to the championship, and they were tough to handle on both sides of the ball. That's what, Auburn fans want. That's what, we're hoping to see. And, I think we both agree that's what needs to happen with Aldridge and Roberts. And they need to just pin the ear back. Our offense can score with anybody. We need to make sure our defense isn't the problem. So turnovers, tackles for loss and sacks. That's all we care about. And not allowing a big play.
And I think that they're going to go that route. They also brought in secondary coach Zach Etheridge, right? So I don't know. He's not really a cover 2 type dude. He likes to kind of throw some heat down the pipeline at guys. And I think, I spoke to you about how I love DJ James. I feel like DJ could possibly be a guy that you're going to be seeing, in the box, maybe playing in a nickel, switching him around a little bit. He's a guy, but they brought in some dudes at linebacker. You want to touch on these guys? Three transfers, Jared.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like, if you're going to win in this league, we talked about it last week, you need to hit the transfer portal and not be 171st in the league, like Clemson. So you got to do work. You got to like them. Little fun throwing. We got Elijah McAllister, Jamaro Tolan, Austin Keys, all 3 really big moves, one from Vanderbilt, one from LSU, and one from Ole Miss. The crazy thing is how you keep 3 players in the SEC, like this from different squads, and you're like, you know what? It's our time. Right. And you guys weren't appreciated. That's what really you got in the room. You're like, you know what?
Let me
talk to you. Like, let me, big fella. let me lean in on you. Like, because when a coach needs to talk to you, he leans in. You're like, listen, you weren't appreciated. I'm here for you. You'll get playing time. If you want a chance to be in the NFL, we've got a guy that groomed dudes at Georgia, and Alabama, and got to the NFL, you will be a guy. You can be a first-round draft pick with us at Auburn. And this is exactly why we want you. And Mama Bear and Papa Bear like,
I love it. He's saying all the right things.
So where do we sign? Where do we sign? This is what's going to happen.
I love it.
And that's what happened. That's how he got him. That's how you keep him in the SEC.
He got all
That's
close.
what happened.
He's like, yo.
And don't look at my Twitter.
He had to throw the curveball in there at the end. I love it. Hey, so out of the three that Mama and Papa just dove in on, who do you think? For me, I think it's Keys. I think, we spoke about a little bit. Ole Miss transfer, 6'6", 245. He's a big boy, right? And you said it. Ole Miss plays a lot of cover too, like to drop back in coverage. I think at Auburn,
I thought Keys was like 6'2", 6'6". Like, you talking about my boy Dave on the phone?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 6'2". I apologize. He is 6'2". 6'2", 240. Yeah, my fault. I
hey, still 6'2", 240. Hey, you're still a boy. You know what I mean?
Compact ball fury, ready to lay the whack. But I think they'll get him downhill. Yeah, I think they'll get him downhill more, at Auburn. I think they're going to have to put pressure. They're not going to be able to let these guys just chuck the ball around, right? You're going to have to get in there and get the QB off the spot. Either make a move or figure something out. But you can't not be able to sit there in coverage and give quarterback 5-6 seconds to chuck the rock.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I love Keys. I think it was a really good move from Ole Miss, which is funny because obviously he was Ole Miss at one time, bringing kids from Ole Miss. It's to pull people away from, that team anyway. Because, Lane Train, he don't mess around,
No.
So there'll be some bad blood there, I promise you, for something like, especially considering the defensive coordinator and Golding are cool.
Yeah,
that's the crazy one. Like, so I'm with you. I think Keys is without a doubt. He's probably the middle stud. Let's get it.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, let's just put this out there. I think 70 tackles.
Okay.
So, I think he at least doubles. It could be 80 tackles. We'll say doubles, and absolutely eats in that defense.
All right. So Hall's gone, right? They lost Hall, they lost Latu, they lost Popo, and they lost Wooden. Now Hall's more of that edge guy. Every once in a while they'll throw him, back a little bit, the linebacker spot here and there. What are your thoughts? I am going to absolutely destroy this gentleman's name, and I apologize now. But Mosiah Nazil Kite, is that close? What do you think?
I like it. I think I thought it was from the Sealy Kite.
Okay,
so
the Sealy Kite. All right, so I was close.
It's really close. Yeah, we just call him Kite.
All right, that's fine. All right, we can call him MNK.
MNK,
yep. Right? MNK. That's what I'm going with. Transfer from Maryland, 3 years there. Now on the edge, right? 3 years on the edge. He had 80 tackles, 53 solo, 14.5 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. And my man got a little handwork, got 2 pass defenses and a fumble recovery. Right? He's 6'2", 305. Like, it's a big boy. Yeah,
that's a big old boy.
Yeah.
Like,
he eating.
Thing is, you're a defensive end, but defensive tackle. You know what I mean? So
slide him over.
My man Aaron Donald's 6 foot 300, and I'll give you my man Aaron Donald's 4% body fat or something like that. He's an absolute dude. Yeah. But I think, and you consider how Maryland's defense is, their linebackers eat. Like, they eat.
Right.
Their defensive linemen just kind of, let's not mess up.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that he's a really good grab for them because I think the way Auburn's going to use him is different. I think they're just going to, hey, dude, let's see if you can get 14 tackles by yourself just this year.
Yeah, so why not, right?
Let's get the tackle for loss. You know what I mean? So
now we can go to the secondary, talk about a couple of guys. I like DJ James. I also like Keontae Scott. But they also got Zion Puckett and Donovan Kaufman in that secondary. DJ James, 6'1", 185. He had 37 tackles, 25 solo, tackle for loss, interception, 8 pass defenses, right? And he had a forced fumble. I feel like DJ is going to be that Swiss Army knife in that secondary. I know that Keontae Scott plays more of the nickel at 6 foot 209. 209, 6 foot 209. You coming out like a heat-seeking missile. You hit somebody across the middle, and somebody ain't paying attention, gonna put his head on a swivel. All right, he had 45 tackles, 21 solo, tackle for loss, 4 tackles for loss, 5 a sack, a pick, and 4 pass defenses. So he's got quick feet, loose hips, and man, his instincts are strong. So he got a nose for it. So when he goes and he commits, he's all in. So I think Scott and DJ will be the guys in the secondary. What are your thoughts before we close up the defense and head on to these running backs? Because this is a spicy take.
Yeah, we got to talk the offense about them. I just want to get the defense out of the way. Obviously, I like Keontae Scott personally. Playing nickelback, 53 tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing to shake at. To be honest with you, like you said, quick feet, loose hips.
Yeah.
He has the ability to be really like a top 4 round draft pick. And obviously, like, if we can, he'll be a guy that we hit up in the Senior Bowl if he ends up getting there. Without a doubt, I think that's a move forward. DJ James, that's a big, that's a tall cornerback. I would love to see him put on a little bit more weight personally, but he's a cut 185. So it's probably not a whole lot of, being skinny, like tall and skinny. I think it's tall and muscle, to be honest with you. I really do. I think he's a really big kid. I mean, his 37 tackles say a lot, to be honest with you. Nehemiah Pritchard. I mean, it's funny, you just went right after him. Sack, 8 pass deflections. He really does do it all. He can blitz from the corner. He position. He has good, he doesn't have good hands while he's playing corner, but he has a good mind for the ball, and that's what you really want to see. 8 pass deflections. In any aspect is nice to watch. Yeah. So they have room to grow. They're by no means is Auburn strong, defensively right now, but they always have been a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
So you don't bring in crap players. I mean, you're like you said, you've got 3 transfers, just from the SEC.
Yeah.
So keeping kids at home is a thing.
100%. I agree 100%.
I mean, I love Puckett. Like, 6 foot, 210 pound safety, just absolute hammer on the back end. I mean, he's a hammer, bro. So
you better keep
that's a guy. He's headhunting. I mean, he's a headhunter.
Oh yeah.
Don't come across the middle, my guy. It's this ain't the time to do that to your player because it won't work out.
No, not today.
Who else we got here? All right, let's get right to the running backs. I mean, okay, we can talk. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go. Get the running back. That's what I want. I was going to say, we might as well hit the elephant in the room. These two guys battling it out.
Yep. So, obviously, they don't have to worry about, Tank being there anymore. He gone. So, we got Jarquez Hunter and Brian Battie Jr. Obviously, the South Florida transfer, 1,000-yard rushing, 5'8", 170 pounds, a little bowling ball, 176, 1,186 yards. Does he remind you a lot of the dude from Kansas State, Vaughn?
Deuce, he's not as stout. You know what I mean? Like the frame maybe, but he's not.
I mean, Vaughn, dude's got some tree trunks, bro.
Yeah,
he's got some tree trunks.
Yeah, this gentleman, I'll tell you what, for the size, he got a little twitch to him too. He can get down. I watched 2 or 3 games at USF that he was just moving and shaking, getting out there, getting it on, and he wasn't the lead back, I don't believe, until maybe week 4 or 5 at USF too. So I think he's gonna push Hunter. I think he's gonna play Hunter's role that Hunter played for Bigsby. But from what I'm reading, right, they're putting Hunter in top 8 running backs this year. I'm kind of a little shocked by that. I saw it in multiple articles. I mean, he's a former 3-star, 5'10", 210. I like that. Okay, I know he's not 6 foot. A lot of people are heavy on the 6 foot thing, but 5'10".
Hey, I'm perfect. Hey, 5'10" is fine. I mean,
yeah, 210.
I mean, Eric Gray is 5'9", 210.
Yeah, cool. I like Eric Gray's build. Eric Gray is a good build for a running back in my eyes. I agree with you 100%.
And Hunter's got a lot better hips. I mean, I love my dude Gray, right? I mean, at Oklahoma, right? But I think, Gray has developed a really good jump step. So it'd be cool to see Hunter do that. But he's a little stiff in his shoulders to me, and I don't see that out of Hunter. So maybe that's why he's getting so much love, to be honest with you.
I mean, when he had 100 attempts, 668, right? So seven touchdowns. He had 6.6 yards per carry. In a limited role, I could see him eclipsing 1,100 easy.
So here's the thing, right? I mean, my biggest question is, and he's already been voted as one of the team captains.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously is a presence when you're coming in as 3-star and you basically take over a room. That says a lot. That's just somebody living with a chip on their shoulder, maybe a boulder on their shoulder. And maybe that's why, it's like, Tank, you probably didn't deserve to be here in front of me anyway. And I think Hunter is the dude. And I don't know if he's a top, I don't know if he's a top 8 back. I mean, maybe top 8 in the SEC, but there's too many good running backs to put him in as top 10 running back. I can't do it.
I can't do it either. I mean, SEC, you think top 8 in the SEC? There's a lot of good backs in the SEC too. So,
and that's why I'm saying it's hard to do that, right? I mean,
I don't know
until next year, right? Because you're going to add 2 more, really solid teams, and you already know them Sooners. They're bringing a bag of running backs. I mean,
Sawchuck, baby, don't get me started.
Hey, I love Gavin, but I mean, Brooks is solid. The 2 dudes they just brought in, really solid. I mean, sounds like they might get James Peoples, who is compared to, Saquon Barkley. I mean, these are crazy people. When you're getting stuff like that, you're going to have to recruit.
Dude, Peoples is a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an absolute dog. But the smart thing is, the smart thing is, they have Cadillac. He's their DeMarco right now, right? I mean, he's their guy. So, and DeMarco Murray is an absolute great running back. He went to the NFL, had a good time in the NFL. He's been a very good coach, at Arizona and now at Oklahoma, where he should be, and a very good recruiter. I mean, he is just putting dudes down. Cadillac has a very similar timeline. He was a really good college running back. He was a good returner. He was decent in the NFL before he really got injured and everything. And he's still going to coach well. He has some time.
Oh,
yeah. I think that he is going to pull a dude in the next year or two, and we're going to be like, see, that's why you kept him.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Hey, so you say he was decent in the NFL, but I'm pretty sure he made the Pro Bowl, right? 1 year? I want to say there was that 1 or 2 years.
Oh, I'm saying, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was decent enough to be. He was a real solid player.
Yeah.
And, with the Bucs, and considering where he was at and who he played with and the team, I mean, really, really solid, right? I mean, Ronnie probably had a better NFL career.
Yeah. Well, they transformed a system to Ronnie, the Wildcat, right? So, he had longevity.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest difference. I mean, they're 2 very different running backs, not to a point anyway, but Cadillac at the time looked really good for the Bucs, so.
I agree. All right.
I'm telling you, I'm kind of interested about Jarquez, though, or, Hunter, so.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be I'm going to keep an eye on him for sure. Him and DJ James are my guys on the Auburn squad that I like. And obviously, I want to see what happens with the quarterback. We're right about 45 minutes, about to wrap this up. But I want to get a rapid fire real quick with you. 5-7 last year, 2-6 in conference. Give me a record before we close it out.
I'm going to go 6-6 bowl eligible, right? Before they get to the thing, right? I'll take that back. I'm going to go with they're going to flip it. They're going to get a 7-5, they're going to have 3 or 4 wins in conference compared to what the 6 losses that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still going to have a losing record in conference, but they're going to win 2 more, I think. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be, obviously, if you've ever been to any tailgating at Auburn, or we need to go because, we need to go on Iron Bowl for real. Like, it's got to happen.
I'm down.
I mean,
I'm down.
You want to talk about some real hate? We got some of the come next year when Oklahoma and Texas come in. We're bringing in some of the greatest college football rivalries of all time back.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, Texas, A&M, Oklahoma, A&M, Missouri, Oklahoma, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe. And then we get to pull in, and I said this, can you imagine if we get to really see Oklahoma and Florida, like, bumping heads all the time? Like,
bro,
I mean, it would be killer for the conference. It'd be killer for each school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a premier game. I mean, just to see, the last time Oklahoma and Auburn played, people don't really want to talk about it because it was a bowl game Auburn fans don't want to, talk about, to be honest with you. They scored like with a minute left in the ball game to make it, 15 points or something. But that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Auburn has brought in the right guy to offensively. I think they might have brought in the right guy defensively.
I think so.
So if he can hone them in,
that's it,
and give them 3 years, 2027 or 2026. Let's see if he's the guy still. He's not young by any means, but maybe that is the time to, hey, let's groom Cadillac, and Cadillac could be the guy in 3 4 years. So as much as Hugh Freeze don't want to hear it, my man's going to be 50 something, 60 something. So when it's down the road, do you really want that guy coaching? So that's where I kind of feel. I feel like Cadillac could be one of those guys you want to keep. So I still think you need to bring Bo Jackson in more just to talk to kids. Absolute legacy. So.
Oh yeah. Bring the legends of Auburn back. Bring them into the school. Just even if they just come to games, practices, just having their presence is huge. I think this is great what we're doing. I love this little series that we got going on before we start breaking down conferences and stuff. We did Clemson, we did Auburn. What do you want to do next? Do you want to close out the third team that I spoke about, or you got something you want?
We could talk about the Bearcats, but the problem about this is they're rebuilt. All right, and my Sooners are gonna give Cincinnati all they want and then some. Like week 3 this coming season. So I don't want to trash them on them right now because I already know how I feel about them. I'll tell you a team that I'm really, really interested about, and it's because of a new coaching change, and they've always been a little bit on the wire because they've had a quarterback. I think Louisville with, Braum coming in as the head coach, being a hometown kid, I think that's a conversation piece, with Lamar talk going on, and, who knows where he could go. We're going to be at the Combine next week.
Mind blown.
It could be a conversation piece. So that's just one team that comes to mind just because I like Braum.
Right.
We've done an ACC, we've done an SEC. The Big 12 is 4 teams different this year. Obviously, you and me both have our Oklahoma, Nebraska shows.
Mm-hmm.
How about we go all the way to the West Coast and talk about some Washington?
All right, let's do it. I'm down. We're going purple, baby.
It's going to be a tasty one. So
yeah. They got some studs out there to talk about, so I'm excited. All right, Boomer, it's been a pleasure. I love breaking this down. I think we're crushing it. I can't wait till you're at the Combine next week and you flooding me with content and I can get it out there. I'm jealous. You know that, but some things just didn't work out for me. So Dina will be there holding it down. Take it away.
Hey, until next week at the Combine, let's go.